advertisement.
Innovate the product. Innovate the product.
Alright, okay, that's great. Look at the second question. If you happen to be the principal of a progressive school, today all schools call themselves progressive. What are the qualities that you would look for in teachers at interview? Now, unfortunately, I was going to make this into an elaborate exercise. We are not going to have time to do that. The first one, I told you to move it, and you moved. Isn't that, unfortunately, the way we as educators behave? Somebody tells us to do something, and we do it. I didn't have opposition from a single one who said, I think it's silly, I'm not going to do it. We normally do what we are told. And that is a herd mentality which in today's world we cannot afford. When I told you to shake, did anyone shake off old ideas? Was anyone thinking of that? Or shake off the ideas of the educational system itself that we have inherited? Because that is what is required. I'm sorry, as I said, I can't make it interactive. You'll have to forgive me for it. Then you have the first question. When it does not sell, you'll upgrade, you'll get more research done, you will want to change it because you want to sell it. Actually, yesterday something very, very dramatic happened to me. And I'm not fibbing. It may seem like a story that I've concocted, but it's the absolute it's the truth. I had just moved to another living complex, and I had interacted with very few people there because I'm always on the run. And maybe some parent, I told that mother that I'm into teacher training when she asked me, what are you doing? And she must have gone and told her kids. Her kid, maybe, I don't know. 7 of them yesterday got together when I took my little dog for a walk. And these 7 kids, they came up to me and said, you know what, my mommy told me that you're training teachers. Could you please tell them to care for us? And it hit me. I said, what do you mean? They are sitting and they're fubbing on their phones. When they want to go fast, they go fast. When they want to go slow, they go slow. When they want us to not go for breaks, we are not sent for breaks. And we just hate school and hate the teachers. Really set me thinking. If we do not like something, we protest. Where do these children take their protest? To their parents, who will say, keep quiet, that's the way it is. And there was one little one there who was very cocky. And he said, I'm the only brilliant one. I said, because you get all the marks? But marks are not a sign of brilliance. I'm sure every single one here is brilliant in his or her own way. But they couldn't understand me. And I felt very defeated and very, very troubled by what they said. Over the past several years, I am trying to, in my own humble way, make teachers come together and to make a change. See, teachers, if we play the blame game, we'll go on playing the blame game forever. We can't do anything because so-and-so wants it that way. We can't do anything, parents want it that way. Parents blame teachers, teachers blame kids, kids blame parents, teachers, everyone. Blame the politicians, blame the policymakers. Where does it land us? Nowhere. The end result is, as Amartya Sen rightly said, we only become the argumentative Indian and we do nothing. No real change happens. Alright, so I am working towards that change. If you are passionate about being a change facilitator, then I would urge you to join our conference on 10th and 11th of October at the World Trade Center. where we have world-class speakers coming in, that man has said. And the principal and management says, but what if fewer children get 90 plus marks? And then we talk about holistic development. It's all lip service. It's not holistic, W-H-O-L-E, it's an H-O-L-E. So I seriously think that the time to flirt with these fancy ideas is over. We really need to get together and make a change in whatever area, but we need to form these action groups, and as you're doing today, for instance, work in a determined way. Don't let this end tomorrow evening. Right? So I'll run through the presentation now. So you become purpose-driven movers and shakers. Just now it was purposeless. You were just doing what I told you to do as the authority on this side of the stage. Right? So, and let us become in our own right responsible global citizens. I don't know if you know that the Greeks believed that when you bring together wisdom and ethics, you can move from being an idiot. Who's an idiot? Not someone with low IQ, but a person who is selfish and thinks only about his or her own good. That's an idiot according to the Greeks. So you move from being an idiot to a tribesman when it's my people, people who think like me, people of my religion, people who speak my language. You move from being an idiot to being a tribesman to being a citizen. We call ourselves citizens, but how many of us really and genuinely work for social good? And to the Greeks, if you did not work for social good, you were not a citizen. Alright? I'm not going to elaborate on this. Now, the story of the 100th monkey is in my TEDx talk, the Teachers Help Teachers has put up already. But the idea of this is that every single person sitting here is important to reach the tipping point. The tipping point is only between 5 and 25% of the population. So if only 5 to 25% of teachers determinedly and in a focused and intelligent way work towards change, change must happen. It's not negotiable. I could have gone on and explained this in very great detail, but do look at my TEDx talk called Overhauling Education. The whole story is given there. So every single teacher is important. Normally we tend to say, I'm small fry, what can I do? By changing, you think I can change the whole system? But then if everyone says that, the system cannot change. As Mother Teresa very rightly pointed out, if everyone thinks I'm only a drop in the ocean, an insignificant drop, the concept of an ocean doesn't come about. So if we have created this mess, we can clean up the mess. Are you with me? Yes. Yes. Will you really work towards it? In a very, very determined way. Think of something that you are interested in and work in that direction. I'll come to that very quickly. We've got these wonderful sustainable goals from the United Nations, and I think all of us know this. But are these goals even achievable given the kind of society that we are living in? Do you think they are achievable? We need a change of consciousness for that. As Krishnamurti, as Dr. Ken Robinson, as Harari said, we need to think differently for this kind of situation to come about. It's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult given our current consciousness which is me and mine alone. So now, with the coming together of artificial intelligence and biotechnology, we have to decide what kind of world we want to create. It is only our decision. Are we going to create Are we going to create a wonderful fairy tale-like society in which machines and robots will do the things that consume a lot of our time and we have more time to think and enjoy life? So is it going to be a fairy tale ending, or is it going to be a gothic ending where there will only be a few power groups who will control the rest of the world? Today, only 62 people in the world have more wealth than the rest of the world put together. 62 people. And today, I don't need to tell you, you're all aware that we are living in a panopticon. A panopticon is, this was an idea that was devised in the 18th century by Jeremy Bentham, the architect, where only one or two guards in the prison could look at all the prisoners at the same time. Today, Google knows what we are doing. Facebook knows what we are doing. If you've been to a place, you will be bombarded with Google ads which will give you more information and lure you into spending more. So we've lost our privacy because we've embraced technology. But I'm not saying that technology is bad. But how sensibly we use it is going to depend on us. Are we going to allow technology to take over our lives? Or are we going to control technology to be of service to us? The choice is ours. So, this is extremely important. Humanity will change more in 20 years than it has in the past 300 years. And we know today itself how quickly things are changing. The next slide tells us, this is Harari, that today we have super intelligent machines. Machine DeepMind was just given the rules of the game of chess. And today, the machine is the world's best player and not Garry Kasparov or Anand or anyone else. And how long did the machine take to master that? 4 hours. Earlier, you had to feed in information to get the output. Today, only the rules are given to the machine and the machine learns on its own. So we're living in that kind of age. We have engineered bodies. Earlier technology was outside, but it's moving closer and closer to our bodies and even within us. With the manipulation of DNA and all that is clearly possible today. We have algorithms that manipulate our emotions. Today, as a writer, I'm told by my publisher that next time when you write the blurb for your book cover, you have to use 20 words. And if you use these 20 words, we will hit that many buyers. So do you see how the algorithm has been worked out, keeping the buyer's psychology in mind? And change in profession every decade. Even this is possible because today we are training our kids to become doctors and robots are performing surgeries in a far more effective way than humans. Drones are flying. They don't need to be even that big a plane, but drones are doing the work of pilots, chartered accountants, lawyers. So if we're training our kids for certain professions, then it's very likely that those professions will become passé and irrelevant. And therefore we should provide our learners with the kind of skills to be flexible and move on to other professions. So in short, does our present assembly line system seem to be the right kind of system for our millennials? You come in according to the date of your manufacture, your birthday. And then if you know 7 fruits and you know that much of addition, you get a thappa. You have passed standard 2 successfully. Does it have any meaning anymore? One of the most beautiful things about the Montessori system is that in the Montessori system, children learn as much as they want to learn in a certain area. So this assembly line system, which came to us from the 19th century, is actually passé. So the big answer to everything is the current system is not likely to work. And I told you yesterday of my own experience with the kids in my building. So we need to redesign education for our digital natives. How many minutes do I have? 2 minutes. All right, let's run through it. Just 5 minutes, says the boss here. Okay. All right. Just let's move quickly. So we need a complete radical overhaul. We have to start rethinking our learning objectives, our learning outcomes, our teaching pedagogy, and our assessment. If you are interested in any of these, you could get together in groups and decide that I'm very creative, I want to work in this area of pedagogy. Or I'm good at visualizing, I have a very strong philosophical bent of mind, I can work with the learning objectives and outcomes. Or a person like Nagma, for instance, she does some amazingly interesting assessment work. But now we don't need individuals to do it. Now we need complete groups to do it. Create a white paper, give it to the governments, tell the government this is what we should be doing, because they know no better. They are not teachers, but we are teachers, so we can do that, can't we? So now I'll just quickly go through this. All this is important before 2027, when machines will even reveal the emotional intelligence that we human beings have. Just run through it fast. This was already covered. With the 4 C's, I'll add 2 more, choice and caring. I think these are vitally important. Just let's go fast. All my ideas of changing consciousness, of teaching in a different way, are enshrined in this concept called sourceful education. Very, very simply, sourceful intelligence is a dual capacity that we human beings have of understanding our uniqueness. Of course, we are different from each other, but underlying it are oneness. The upper layers of our mind make us aware of our uniqueness, the deeper layers of our mind of our oneness. How do we bring all this into education? By transforming our own thinking from a self versus other. Teachers has been urging teachers to create their own lesson plans, upload, put your resources. This is possible if we change consciousness from self versus other to self and other. I have a theory-based learning. Now we haven't learned that way. So how are we going to do it? Not impossible. Not impossible. Share, learn, read the works of Jiddu Krishnamurti, who has actually initiated this concept. Then we talk about innovation, creativity and collaboration, hundreds of ways of doing this. But the most important, education for peace and sustainable development. So when we are thinking of our objectives, we could do these, use the UDL, the Universal Design of Learning, which tells us exactly how to formulate our core values, our core objectives, and our variable objectives. Okay? The next, we also need to know how to redesign the curriculum, and we all are working at present with mandated curriculum. The things which can be got at the flick of a button, knowledge-based things, should be, ideally speaking, done away with. Then, collaboratively designed syllabus, personalized syllabus. Every topic that I mentioned mention here is topic enough for a whole day's seminar. And finally, completely learner-led, which is a very, very challenging form of creating a curriculum. We then have the teacher moving from sage on stage to guide on the side. I mean, we teachers have immensely powerful egos, so we need to work with that. Sugata Mitra, I'm sure you know this, A Hole in the Wall, he talks about how teachers can be done away with. But I don't think that I agree with him, because a good, intelligent teacher can do a lot for students. We need to redesign our assessment, much more formative rather than summative assessment, and dynamic assessment. These are different forms, I'm just listing them. Stealth assessment and trans-languaging. So if you are interested in assessment, form a group of teachers who's only going to work on changes in assessment patterns, etc. So I'll wind up with, I was told to do a meditation with you, but Raki, there is no time for a meditation. You want it?
Can we? It's fantastic. Yeah? Yes. If we can. We want it. We want it.
Yes, please.
Okay. See, in order to be able to remain centered and calm, we need to work on ourselves. And we do not need, in my opinion, any external guides. The guide we need is within us. So in this very brief meditation, I could only take you through, the words are, it's a Hindi song, a Hindi meditation. And when I say guru, I don't mean a person. I mean your inner guide. In Sanskrit, the word guru is the one who removes darkness. So because you're trying to do so much, you need that inspiration, calm and centeredness from within. Okay? So you could close your eyes. Let your palms face the sky, the ceiling of the room. And just breathe very normally. Attend to the words of the song. Whenever you feel ready, you may open your eyes. Was it calming? That's it. Barely took 2 minutes. We don't have all the time in the world. We surely have those 2 minutes. so we could work with that. And teachers, let's realize the truth in what the poet Elizabeth Browning says. Earth's crammed with heaven, and every common bush afire with God. But he who sees takes off his shoes. We others sit around and cut berries. So let's not be berry pickers. Let's bring down this heaven on earth. Thank you. Thank you for it.
I've taken man's permission and I need everybody's permission. Can we request her for a 5-minute story? Yes. She's a fantastic storyteller, and believe me, you forget everything. Just like the meditation session helped us. I think it was 1 minute, the meditation, and I felt so peaceful and so connected, and it actually got me back. My energy was scattered, and I got myself back. So I think the impact of what you just said, that we don't have the whole time, right? But if we have 2 minutes to just sit silently and maybe listen to our own spiritual masters, makes a wonderful difference. So, Matt, please, if any of your short stories.
Well, just today somebody reminded me. Okay. You all know the story of 3 little pigs? Everyone here? Yes. Yeah? Okay. This is a story of the 3 little pigs as narrated by the big bad wolf. I am the big bad wolf you've been told about. But the truth is that they have lied to you. I have been fixed. They have manipulated the truth of the story. Do you want to listen to my version of it?
Yes.
Alright. I had moved into a new house, and there were these 3 little pigs. They were my neighbors. Grandma Gorgeous reminded me that it was her birthday, and I wanted to bake a cake. And I did not have sugar. Now I know today we do make sugarless cakes, but I don't know how to make them. So I went with an empty pot to my first neighbor. I knocked at the door and I said, little pig, please, may I come in? And I'm a very well brought up wolf. So politely I asked them, and this pig said, not by the hair of my tinny. I hate rudeness and I lose it. So I said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. I didn't mean it. But the silly one died of a heart attack. So, being an ecologically conscious wolf, I couldn't leave the carcass there to rot. So I had to eat it up. But I still needed the sugar. So I went to the next one. And I knocked at the door and I said, in an even more polite voice, little pig, please may I come in? He was even more rude. Not by the hair of my chin. Then I huff and I puff and I blow your house in. He wanted to run out the back door and couldn't find his keys. He kept on banging at the back door till the house fell on him. And he died, and being an ecologically conscious pig, a wolf, I had to eat him up. But I still needed the sugar, so went to the house of the 3rd one. And I said, little pig, please, may I come in? And he said, sure, what am I your neighbor for? But, dude, I can't find the key to the front door. Do you mind climbing in through the chimney? Well, that needed a bit of calisthenics, but I managed it. And you know where I fell? In a pot of boiling water. And look at all these burns on me. Look at them. And they called me the big bad wolf. I was furious. I lost it and I ate it up. But then, in the corner, I heard some squeals and I found 4 little piglets there. I didn't know what to do with them. Actually, I was just thinking of getting married and starting a family of my own. Then, being the kind-hearted wolf that I am, I abandoned the idea and I adopted all 4. They turned out to be brats. They would squeal and shout and bring the neighbors in for everything. But I decided I would not let them get the better of me. On the door, I put a new sign. The new sign was Caring Cunningham. They called me Cunningham because I like ham. But I'm also caring. I'm looking after the kids, and these being brats for that matter. So, I'm now going to bake a cake this Sunday, and all of you are invited. And now that you know the truth, please come without any fear. Thank you. Actually, when I have a storytelling organization, and we do a lot of storytelling with kids. So the idea is to make children realize that there is another perspective. Somebody else has a very different kind of truth, and there isn't just one singular absolute truth. That's the idea.
And ma'am, we are very glad you took your entire 40 minutes. I mean, we can keep asking for more. We will market more, isn't it?
Yes.
Say that to her.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Coomi, for gracing this occasion. This was a fantastic learning experience. I could see that many of you were taking photographs, taking down points. I hope, in fact, we all at TTF hope that we will take this learning back into school, because what happens in conferences and seminars and workshops, once you leave that venue, it's all over. Don't do that. From Monday itself, start working on it, and believe me, we will revolutionize education, and we thank Dr. Coomi for it. Alright? So thank you very much, Dr. Coomi. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being so very patient, but I'm sure you must be very happy that you decided to come here, right? And now, after we have nourished our souls and our minds, there is some nourishment.
Yes, sir.